Okay, sixth graders, we're going to take a look at some problems that involve ratio tables, um, converting measurements, and so I want to read this to you. First of all, I want you to understand that this problem has actually three parts to it, okay? And it starts with Rosa and Peng both start walking at the beginning of a 1.5-mile trail, which is 1.5 miles. Okay, so something you need to know is that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. Okay, we need to know that. So the question in part A is, what is the length in yards of the trail? Okay, so I'm going to draw a picture. You guys know that I do a lot of pictures. Okay, so if we pretend that this is 1 mile, and that is 1,760 yards. Well, if we went another mile, again 1 mile, 1,760 yards, but the thing is they want to know 1.5. Okay, so they only want to know this section right here. Okay, so I have to figure out what half of 1,760 is. So I would say 1,760 divided by 2. 2 goes into 17 8 times. 2 goes into 16 8 times. And then 2 goes into 0 0 times. So this portion is 880 yards. And then, like I said, this portion here, this mile, is 1,760. So we would add 1 mile, 1,760 yards, plus 0.5 mile. So there's where we get the 1.5 mile, is 880 yards. That's half of 1,760. So then we would add them, and we would say that 1.5 miles is 2,640 yards. Okay, that information is important, and you'll see. So we just completed part A of this depth of knowledge question 2, level 2. Okay, looking at part B. Rosa and Peng measure the distance they walk in 3 minutes. Rosa walks 396 yards and Peng walks 330 yards. They will continue to walk at these speeds along the trail. Complete the table to show how far in yards each person would walk. Okay, so let's organize ourselves. Let's do Rosa over here. Let's do Peng over here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get how many yards she walks in 1 minute. Okay, so let's draw a ratio table. And we are comparing yards to minutes. And I want to know how far in 1 minute. Okay, well, the original ratio for Rosa is that she walked 396 yards in 3 minutes. So you can see that I would divide 3, and then I would divide 3, and 396 divided by 3 is 132 yards. This information is key, okay? So let's continue down the table. So starting with that original ratio, the unit rate, I mean, yards, minutes. Okay, so she walks 132 yards in 1 minute. If you look at the table, they want to know how far she would walk in 8 minutes. So all I would do is put 8 here where it's minutes, and then ask myself, what did I do to 1 to get 8? Well, I multiplied 8. So what do I do to 132? I multiply 8. So 132 times 8, 16, 24, 25, 8, 9, 10. So how many yards did she walk in 8 minutes? How many yards did Rosa walk in 8 minutes? 1,056. All right, let's draw a ratio table again. Again, we're still comparing yards to minutes. And we're starting with the unit rate, 132 yards in 1 minute. Well, in the table, they want to know how many yards in 13 minutes. So 13 minutes. So 1 times 13 is 13. So 132 times 13. So I have to do some work over here. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 0 placeholder, done. 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 1. Okay, so 1,716. 1,716 yards. I am going to double check my work with a calculator just to show you guys how you would put this in. All right, so I'm going to take 132 and multiply by 8. Good, we got 1,056. Okay, and then I have 132 times 13 equals 1,716. Good. Okay, now Peng walked, let me do my ratio table here. So we're still doing yards to minutes. She walked 330 yards in 3 minutes. So 330, 3 minutes. I want to know how far she walked in 1 minute. So I'm going to simplify by dividing 3. So 330 divided by 3 is 110 yards. So she walked 110 yards in 1 minute. So we are going to use that unit rate to solve the rest of this table. So starting with the unit rate, 110 yards, 1 minute. How far did she walk in 8 minutes? So as you can see, I would multiply 8. I would multiply 8 and 110 times 8. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 1, 8 times 1. 880 yards in 8 minutes. Okay, one last ratio table. Yards, minutes. Original ratio